Another obvious question for you. Obviously, we got an update on Draymond Green. He's not been in the facilities, or he has been, and if he has been or has not been, when do you expect that you probably will get to see him?
I don't know at this point. Yeah, I mean, until the league lets us know their decision on his suspension, there's really nothing to update.
That was going to be my question. There's a report out. So there's no inkling of if he'll be able to be here in the next few days. And
Nothing. I don't know that. So apparently someone else does, but I don't yet.
I think as we understood it from Mike Dunleavy, he said Draymond could practice with the team. That was back in mid-December, but he hasn't. Following up on what you said yesterday about how space was a good thing, why did you guys want some space?
Well, I think right from the beginning, this was not a sprained ankle. This was not a twisted knee. This is an issue that Draymond is trying to get help with, and so space was important for him and for us. We're trying to win games, and he's trying to put himself in a position to come back, and so it's, him not being here is not an issue at all. In fact, we discussed it and decided that was the best way to go.
Getting back to injuries, your thoughts on Gary? Of course, he's going to be out for a significant period of time with that left hamstring strain.
Yeah, it's a huge loss. I mean, Gary's one of our best defenders, obviously, a very unique player, plays with Steph really well, understands how to play with him, and obviously is just coming off a month-long absence. So it's really disappointing for us and of course, for Gary. And he's, back in the facility getting treatment, and he'll do his best to get back as soon as possible, but we'll definitely miss him.
Steve, Clay came in the other night and explained that you and he had a conversation, and he probably said some things that you would prefer to keep in-house, but he said it was great for him and good for his mindset. I'm wondering, as a coach, on your long list of responsibilities and job duties, how often do you have to just pull someone aside and just kind of say, just have a chat with them, basically?
I would say more days than not, because we have 15 guys and everybody is going through something. And, as a coach, your job really is to put players in the best position to be successful. And that means helping them with their mindset. It might be a conversation about their role. It might be a conversation about a perspective or, something off the court. Could be anything, but that's it's a huge part of the job.
Did you hear what he said the other night?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I read it.
And what was your reaction when you saw it?
No, it was good. I mean, I think for everybody, for all of us, it's the perspective is so important. This is a very stressful job, but only relatively speaking. And you tend, when you've been in this league for a while, you tend to take some things for granted, and you start to focus on some of the difficult stuff, the injuries, the criticism, and that's just human nature. And so I think it's great. I know as a player, I always appreciated when I had coaches who offered perspective, and there's no question this is a difficult job at times, and these guys go through a lot, but it's also one of the greatest jobs in the world. So you got to find that balance.
You guys have had a top-level offense the last handful of games, and obviously not defensively. What, as you kind of reform and try to figure out who you guys are, I mean, what's the balance of deciding, hey, just lean hard into offense, or needing to obviously still protect the defensive end?
Yeah, we're trying to find the balance. We're trying to improve our defense, and we know areas we have to improve. Offensively, I think we're doing better because we're taking care of the ball. We're averaging two fewer turnovers per game in the last 10 than the first 22, 23 games. I think we're getting good spacing. We got a threat with Trace, as a dive man, getting to the rim, lob threat. I think we're simplifying some of our actions and just running a handful of things, and I think all that has helped. But we have to be a two-way team if we want to have a really good season. We know that. So the defense is really where we're working hard.
Steve, not a Warriors question, but I think the Magic are retiring Shaq's jersey. You had 1 year with him, I think, his rookie year.
Yeah, his rookie year, I was traded there midway through the season.
What do you remember of just the time you spent with him and his career in general, especially with the Magic?
What I remember about Shaq that first year was just how he took over that city, from an energy standpoint and joy and zest for life. I mean, this guy just came in and just steamrolled everybody. I mean, he was so dynamic as a player, but also his personality, his charisma, and he was so kind. I remember being out to lunch with him a few times, and he'd leave the waitress $100 check on a $35 tab or a $100 tip, I should say, on a $30 tab. I mean, he was just magnanimous and charismatic, and this dominant force. So rare to see someone play that way, that powerful and that athletic, at that size. And then the personality as well. So it was fun being a part of that first year.
Coach, experimenting these last few games has gone pretty well for you guys, with guys like Kuminga and Trace, all of them kind of finding a space on the floor to play well. Moody has fallen out of the rotation, with GP2 kind of coming, being out for the next month possibly. Do you see him falling into the rotation? I know Jason said that Mike Dunleavy actually said something about finding a more consistent role.
Yeah, I mean, Moses. I've been impressed with since the first day he arrived here. His maturity, his work ethic, his awareness. So he knows he's just got to stay ready. Things have turned in the opposite direction from him over the last week or so, just because we're experimenting with different combinations, different lineups. We're trying to put some people together, avoid putting other people together. So it's been a complicated season, and right now he's just a victim of the numbers and the direction that we've decided to go. But I know how professional he is. I know Moses will stay ready, and when he gets his chance, he'll be ready for it.
2 things for you, Steve. The Christmas game was 10 days ago. How fresh does that game feel in your minds?
Yeah, I mean, it was a frustrating game for us. We played well enough to win. Too many fouls. We obviously, preparing for this game, we watched that one again, and so we have a pretty good feel for how we match up against these guys, what we need to try to do, and we're confident that we can get it done. We've got to be more solid. We just we weren't organized the entire game offensively. We had some random possessions that hurt us, and then all the fouling in the second half really killed us.
And then the second thing, going back to Shaq, did you know that he has a second life as a festival DJ?
I knew he was a DJ, but I don't even know what a festival DJ is.
Well, your favorite, techno music.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes, yeah. Is he working Phoenix by any chance?
Yeah. DJ Diesel.
I did not know that.
I mean, the rhetoric coming out of that Christmas game was about the fouls. You said you rewatched it. What do you need to do better fouling wise? And then, how much, when you watch those fouls, how much is your frustration level still kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I got no problem with players, manipulating the rules to get fouled. I mean, I think I might have told you I told you the Chris Paul story from a couple of years ago when he was with Oklahoma City. Did I tell you this? Can't remember. No, he did the swipe through, like at half court, and I'm like, I can't believe, we called a swipe through at half court, and they were in the bonus. He walks to the line. I look at him, and he looks at me. He goes, "Hey, if they're gonna call it, I'm gonna keep doing it." And I said, "I don't blame you. It's 2 free throws." So I think the league is really interested in creating a a flow to the game. You look at the offensive rating, 10 of the top 12 offensive ratings in the history of the NBA are this year, 10 teams from this season. And so players have gotten so skilled, and pace has gotten so fast, and coaches are putting, 5 3-point shooters on the floor. So, this league has always been really proactive in figuring out what's going to put the best product on the floor. So, when I retired my last year, I think the finals games in 2003 when we played the Nets were like 75-68. It was bad. It wasn't fun to watch. And the league kind of altered the rules a little bit, and the game opened up, and the product's gotten way better. And the league is on top of this, and I think I'm just one of 30. Every coach, every GM, we want to see teams be allowed to play defense too. And some of the calls as I said, the refs are just doing their job. So we just have to examine it as a league. What do we want to call, and how much do we want to allow the defense to compete? And I think it's going to head in a good direction because the league is always proactive with this stuff. Yeah, Monty.
Same lineup, or are you going to say?
We'll see. We'll see.
They closed the game on a 25-4 run. What do you just kind of think went the most wrong in those final 6 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I just give them credit. They really tightened up defensively, and then their guys hit some big shots. They got to the line. I thought Aaron Gordon was fantastic tonight. Really dominated the second half in the paint, and especially the fourth quarter. And then, Watson hits the big three. That was probably the shot of the game. And they did a good job getting stops. So I feel for our guys. That's a really tough one. I mean, our guys played great, and 35 assists and 10 turnovers. And, we executed most of the game, but just couldn't score and couldn't get stops in that last 5-6 minutes.
You've said it a couple times this year that you usually get, one, maybe two of these like gut punch losses. It feels like these are piling up a bit. I mean, is that kind of the internal sense too?
We've had a few of them this year. It's part of being in the league. Everybody's got amazing talent and great coaching, and you just. These games all come down to the wire, it feels like, for us this year. And we've probably lost 4 or 5 that we should have won. Maybe we've won 1 or 2 that we shouldn't have. But, these are gut punches for sure.
Give the Nuggets credit, but from your coaching perspective, was there a breakdown in the fourth quarter on the side of the Warriors? Did you see a breakdown at all, whether it was the shots that just weren't falling anymore or – fouls that started to pile up? What did you see?
Yeah, they just went on a great run. They made stops, and they tightened up their defense. We couldn't really get many great looks, and they scored. Like I said, I think they got to the line 21 times in the second half, and those hurt. I thought our defense was really good. Wasn't a matter of us reaching, but. I thought Gordon's physicality in the paint was really the key in the second half.
Kuminga, it looked like he was giving you a good scoring boost in the first half. What went into the decision not to have him play in the?
Yeah, he was playing great, and his normal time to go back in would have been around the 5-6 minute mark. And Wiggs was playing great, and we were rolling. We're up 18, 19, whatever it was. And so we just stayed with him. And then at that point, it didn't feel, like it was the right thing to do. He'd been sitting for a while. So I stayed with the group that was out there. And obviously, we couldn't close it out.
You only scored 4 in the last, I think, 6:34. What do you think was the biggest just offensive problems? Like, what bogs you down?
We just we weren't getting a great penetration. Earlier in the game we were getting a lot of pocket passes, from the perimeter, and then playing kind of 4-on-3, 3-on-2, and we didn't get any of those. They really tightened up, and so we had to take a lot of contested shots, and just they buckled down. Like I said, I give them credit.
Steve, what do you think of the contributions from Brandon tonight, especially in the third quarter?
Brandon was great. He really played well, and he plays well every night. He's a two-way player, and the ball moves when he's out there, and he's a tough defender. So Brandon continues to grow.
Coach, you talked a lot about perspective before the game, kind of feeding off of Clay's comments. How hard is it to kind of get your team to keep perspective after a loss like this?
I mean, it's still a game, like we lost a game and this is our job, and losing sucks. We get to come back here tomorrow and play another NBA game, and we got to bounce back. So this is all part of this life, that we all live, highs and lows and everything in between. So this is a tough one. This is as tough as they get, this loss tonight. But we got to bounce back tomorrow.
With 4 seconds left, the ball was in Jokic's hands, and he is who he is, but it's also feels a little improbable that a center would hit a 39-foot three-point shot. What did you think when he launched that?
It didn't look like it was going in. When it left his hand, it looked long, but obviously, it banked in. But if anybody's going to make it, it's him. He's a great player.
Steve, it looks like Denver knows exactly who they want to go to and what they want to do in the fourth quarter. That used to be how you guys operate. Is it difficult with so many players and so many rotations to kind of get that crunch time offense and defense down?
I think, maybe we haven't found that yet because we've had different rotations, different lineups, and as you said, but we still have to figure it out. We still got to do a better job, getting open looks, and that's on us as a staff to help the players and get us to that point. Thanks.